evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to In the Streets with Big Stone. Today is an extremely special day because we have greatness in our company. We have the likes of master drummer Lawrence Letters, or Low, as he's affectionately called in the jazz fraternity in the United States. And of course, we have the beautiful Lisa Harris, who is the daughter of the president and founder of Humanity Divine Libertarians Foundation. Welcome once again to In the Streets.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure having you, my brother. How's everything?
Great to be here. It's great.
Anyway, Lisa, I read your bio and stuff and, did a little research on you. Tell me a little bit more yoga, because black folks, it's not a common thing for...
They don't do it.
They don't do yoga. So explain to me what is yoga, what it does for you, and how you got involved on this phenomenal journey.
Wow. Okay. So yoga is it's a practice. There's 8 limbs, but what we know as yoga is the exercise aspect. It's called asana, and that's when you move and you stretch. It's a part of stretching with breath.
Okay.
That's what yoga is. I'm a yoga instructor in New York City, and I'm bringing yoga to a lot of beginners, and because I don't look like a typical yoga teacher, I'm really successful in connecting with newbie yogas and just getting the practice out there, because it's a really beautiful practice. I've been practicing for many years, and I was introduced by it after I had my first son. Also, I was able to just learn another way, a strategy on relaxing, a strategy of breathing, a strategy of being still. And I think that just the thing of being still for even like a moment or two, it can change a lot of things, because I live in New York City, so living in New York City really has a lot of frenetic energy, and even just the thought of just like laying down in Shavasana, that's a pose, corpse pose, where you just lay down flat. Even doing that for 3 to 5 minutes, you can see a change from just hot head to cool body.
Okay, so what you're saying then, the art and the practice of yoga, especially what Humanity Divine Libertarians is all about, about terrorism, disenfranchised kids, gang members, and so on. What will yoga do to someone who, say, has violent tendencies if they get involved with yoga? One of these kids that can just jump up and all of a sudden just do a violent act. Can yoga transform him from being a violent individual to being someone calm, cool, and collective?
I believe so. I believe so, because the thing is that you can sit within yourself just for a moment, because sometimes we get angry and they say count to 10, but do you really know how to count to 10 and breathe? So if you really know the breath, like really coming in and exhaling out and just letting it go, it may be able to change some things. It may be able to be a stress reliever from before not making this person be so violent. If they have another avenue through breath, and then there's challenging poses, what you do, where you have to use a lot of discipline and have to really be connected to your body, so it makes you aware on how you are with yourself and also how you carry yourself outside.
Does it lead to, say, quote unquote, a higher power? Does it have to do with Christianity or Muslim or Buddha or Allah?
Well, there's no religious ties with the style of yoga that I teach, but then it just depends on the sectors. It's like if you practice yoga, it's like how we look at yoga in the West is more like an exercise principle with meditation, and sometimes they use ancient Hindu Vedic chants. And if you want to, you don't have to.
There's not a set rule.
There's not a set rule. You can be a Christian and be a yoga person. You can be an atheist and be a yoga practitioner. It doesn't matter. One thing that we do believe, and going back to the question that you were saying, is the one thing we do believe is non-violence. Not to harm people, not to hurt people. That's a very big part of the whole.
All right, take us back to the early days, because you said you're working with children and so on. Give us an idea how you got involved with these kids and and what you will be bringing to Humanity Divine Libertarians Foundation.
So how I got involved with my first certification in yoga was actually children's teacher training. So my mentor, she and I would go to schools and do functions in the city, like festivals and art presentations, and we would teach kids, because her organization helps to bring yoga to younger children, so it gives them a strategy, and especially kids in the city, in New York City.
Is it acceptable in the classrooms, as part of the curriculum?
Sometimes it just depends on the school.
Okay.
The more progressive schools, yes, and then sometimes what they do is they have after school programs that will ask like yoga teachers to come in. Like, some people do football or netball or something like that, and then you have yoga also as something to add on to it. And with just diversifying what you do, not all the time you want to play basketball. Also, yoga is really important because you're stretching. So it implements with other sports too.
Okay. Great. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are speaking with Lisa Aris, a yoga specialist and expert. And we also have to the far right, we're going to bring it in now, just get a little bit piece of him, what he did in his early year to become the ace master drummer that he has grown up to be. Lawrence, once again, my brother, I have to give you a double handshake because I'm a musician, and I know that it takes a lot of hard work and dedication and discipline in owning your skill. So take us back a little bit before we get into the yoga, because we want to fuse music, yoga, and Humanity Divine Libertarians Foundation. How best we can incorporate all two aspects of the arts to make this foundation more plausible, more appealing to younger youths, who's on the street say, but we want to be a part of it because Ace Master Drummer Lawrence let us play drum, but he's into yoga, and vice versa. Lawrence, you understand what I'm saying, and bring it nicely and tightly. So the floor is yours. A little bit about yourself, how you got started, who you are, blah blah blah.
Me, musician, drummer. That's what I play mostly. But travel the world now. Doing good. As a youth myself, I was a trouble teen, dealing with family issues. Had temper issues, getting into trouble, this and the third. So I got put in the programs, for at-risk youth, so mentoring programs. And part of the program, one of the programs that helped me out was band.
Okay, so was it your choice to choose a band, or it was chosen for you?
It was my choice.
Okay, so you had the love of music then fused into you.
I did.
Okay.
It's like from day one.
From day one.
Okay. Mom always had music, playing in the house, be it card parties, whatever it is.
So were you playing on the pots and the kettles and cups and
everything?
And you break a few things in the process too.
I try not to. I didn't want to get broke.
Okay. You have to pay for these things to replace them.
Right.
So the earlier days then you got connected, and because of your childhood, we can say it was troubled, so to speak, and music was your outreach.
It's an outlet.
An outlet. So where has music taken you now? What has it done for you?
Music has done everything for me. It's the reason why I'm alive.
Okay, great.
Now, travel the world all the time.
Name some of the places that you've been to.
Jamaica for one.
Okay. Of course.
Finland, Italy.
Yeah.
A lot of European countries. Japan, Australia. Mexico, Germany, France. South America.
Wow.
All over. Brazil.
So what's the difference, say? Because I know jazz, I remember the days back in the music when I used to play in the police band, right? And my instrument was trumpet. They say jazz was a kind of mix-up because of the phrases and all it's a mix-up, confused music. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, remember, take 5. You take 5, the time was 5/4 or 5/2. You remember that?
Indeed.
Right. So this is a confused music because you have to have good ears and so who are some of the people that you admire to bring you to where you are today?
A bunch. Jazz greats. Elvin Jones, Philly Joe Jones, Art Blakey,
Art Blakey, master drummer.
Master drummer.
Yeah.
These guys that laid the foundation down for us and actually made it. They are who made it real because they were living the music. You know, it's the only way they can make money without robbing and stealing. Basically, back in those days in America, you know, so this is how the music came about in, you know, impoverished areas of living. You know, got black communities coming together, playing music. You know, stems from, you know, slave chants. You know, I used to conversate with this. It's a good way to, you know, when they got to get together and sing songs or whatever.
Wow.
So it's all tied in, and you know, you have the feeling and the heart of the streets, the livelihoods, and what you know people are going through.
And I guess also, Lawrence, it's one of those avenues that we created, because music, you have to say, African Americans and black people worldwide, we own music. Anytime we do anything musical, it comes out great. You know what I mean? So it wasn't hard for you to get your foot in the door as a musician, because this is one of the professions in life that is open up to us that they can't take from us.
Right.
Is our musical skills and our musical ability. Well, speaking with Sister Lisa right here, right? And you're a drummer, a jazz musician. How best can we now incorporate music with yoga, with my motivational skills? How can we address the high crime rate that is happening, not just in Jamaica, but all over the world?
I mean, basically it comes down to, as she said, it's a stress relief for yoga anyway. It's the same thing for me with music.
The music.
That's my therapy. Whenever I hit that bandstand, everything is blank. I'm everything
In that world now you're into it.
In that world that I'm into. So it's my focus, which is what gets people into situations 9 times out of 10 is lack of focus.
Right.
So if they don't have focus on the right things, then they're gonna wander off, and then that's when trouble happens. So for me, the music with yoga, it ties in perfectly. I mean, you know, with jazz, a lot of yoga classes, they play music to go to get into different vibes. You know, Lisa, she can talk about that a lot more than I can.
So then with music, because sometimes you do your yoga stretching and so on to music, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever stretched to, say, jazz?
Yeah.
You have done it?
I have.
What's the difference from stretching to, say, a religious music, which is, you know, with the keys low there and mournful and to a high-tempoed, up-tempoed stuff like a jazz thing?
You're going to move faster.
Or you can move faster. So just stretch it.
You do like, there's sequences.
Okay.
There's sequences that you do. There's like a traditional sequence that many students do. It's the sun salutation. So it's like you're moving all of your spine. You're moving from up, coming down. So you use faster music. When you're doing a flow, when you're doing vinyasa flow, you use a faster music. And then say if you're having more of a meditative class, the music sets the tone for the class.
Okay.
So if I want it to be like slow and restorative, I'm not gonna play like no Bashman or no top 40. You know, I do use some jazz towards the end of the class because I like the slower styles. So it just works like that. It just works by what music, it sets the tone, it sets the tempo of how I can move. And then also, I'm not a musician, but I can hear the time, how to move the people and how to breathe. So if the music's really fast, I mean, inhale up, exhale down, inhale up, and I can do it towards the beat because I know the music already and I know how to guide. So yeah, it can be fused together, and it is fused together organically. Just when you ask, it's like, okay, and now.
So you see, ladies and gentlemen, this is one of my first interviews I've ever had with 2 celebrities of different extreme, but they still intertwine somewhat. A master drummer, Lawrence Leathers, aka Low, and of course Lisa Harris and myself, Big Stone. To have a conversation like this is healthy because we know that our children out there are actually doing things to themselves and each other, and whatever it takes. And that's why we have to big up Humanity Divine Libertarian Foundation for the great work that it has done in the past and will be doing in the future. And to have the association of say a leather, a Lawrence Leather, you know what I mean, or a Lisa Harris, it can only enhance the foundation. And then it's a blessing also for our at-risk youths. It's an avenue where they can come in and be a part of something great and do something great with their lives. Working with children, what is your passion? Or you feel when you know that as a result of you, you're helping to own this person's skill, in other words, to remake him, say from a troubled kid to a kid that is doing great. What's your passion in that? Speak.
What's my passion?
Oh, speak.
Okay, so it's a planting the seed. You know, like some kids you may see only one time, but if you've touched them deeply enough and they just know, oh, that girl or did that crazy yoga thing, that you put it in there. But it's just working with the kids and just seeing them grow. And then even with the challenging poses, seeing them go from not being able to balance, and then you can put that same example into life. Like you can move your body in these ways, you can contour, and some people would say your body in these poses, right? Through your breath, you can do that. And then it's telling you that through moving your body in a certain way, you can do things in life. The same way you can move your body, but you have to keep practicing. You have to keep breathing. So that's why I get a lot. I get a lot from doing that, especially with kids because they're fearless.
Okay.
And then if you show them the right thing, you know, they might not come to all the classes, but you put that seed in them, and it will come up when you need it. Like they might remember, oh, that teacher, she told me to breathe, or just take a breath, put my hand on my heart, put my hand on my stomach, and that could just change you from, you know, from doing something irrational to just chilling out.
Great, great, beautiful. That's coming from Lisa Harris, of course, yoga specialist. You, Lawrence, now, in coming on board with this great foundation called Humanity Divine Libertarians, what have you decided to bring to the table apart from your expertise as a master drummer, master musician? What else are you bringing?
Definitely bringing experience, life experience, a voice outside of ones that, you know, kids hear all the time, telling them what's right or wrong. I mean, to me, I can just give advice or suggestions and say, I've experienced this and I've tried it a few different ways and gotten the same result. So I've also gotten a different result, and this can happen. So with music, it's the same thing. If I don't practice, or if I work on the same thing, if I'm working on the groove, I'm trying to get a certain little feel down, and if I just keep going at it the same way, it's never gonna happen. But as soon as I take the time and, you know, listen or watch somebody else do it, and remember that it's supposed to be a joyful thing, it's not something that's supposed to, you know, bashing my head on against the wall with, then the light clicks on, bam. So for me, when I teach the youth, I always bring in a couple different key elements. First, the fun.
Beautiful.
It's not homework, you know. It's something that you should enjoy.
Exactly.
Second of all, goals. Give them something to work towards, and then also reward with those goals. Because anytime you put in work, you want to get something out of it. You know. So, and also being just a role model, positive role model. That's the most important thing to me. So you can fuse all of those things together. For me, I bring in, you know, sometimes I get kids, you know, in Detroit or in Philly, or actually some kids over in Paris that I worked with that come from, you know, some rough upbringing. And so me knowing a bunch of different types of people in different realms, you know, walks of life, I can say I can bring in somebody that, you know, is close friends with me, tied in with music, and, you know, but still walks a little closer to that side of life that they're dealing with, and bring them in so they can see somebody, have somebody to look up to, which, you know, say, okay, I know you used to be out here.
So, yeah.
You know, so,
and this is what you're doing, this is what you like.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, here we are speaking with Lawrence Leathers, Low, as he's affectionately called in the jazz music fraternity all over the world, and of course Lisa Harris, master yoga specialist, who have been working for years, many years, with children, troubled youths, and just common ordinary children, you know. It's great to see their concern and the fact that they want to really come on board with this massive foundation, the Humanity Divine Libertarians Foundation. Funding is a problem, you know, in dealing with all these different aspects of youths. We can't just make them empty promises. We have to, if a youth probably cannot afford food for that particular day, I know you're going to be nice enough to come out of your pocket, probably able to give it some food and so on and so forth. So this is a part of the interview that I would love to appeal to you out there watching this, knowing the works that he's doing, right? My brother Lawrence Leathers, and of course Lisa Harris, the work that they are doing. Would love for you to play your part, or your tiny part, and pledge your support to the Humanity Divine Libertarian Foundation. It's a great foundation. It is aimed at making the world a better place. In parting, I'm going to ask you now to look in the camera and speak to the youths that you come into contact from time to time, man. Quickly, a minute or two and so on, and wrap it up.
Wow. I just want to show them that there's other alternatives, that it may seem different, but different is okay. Also, to remember the breath. Remember that all of the stuff we have inside of us, you know, and we can just breathe and relax. And sometimes we get upset, you know, that's human.
Yes.
But also know that, like, sometimes sitting down for a few minutes, sometimes taking a walk, or just stretching, or just, you know, just laying down in a really restful pose can help you. Also, the discipline and the practice with yoga is a practice. Nobody's perfect, and you can implement those lessons into your life, and you can implement your life lessons into your yoga practice. It's all one thing. It's all the same thing.
What's your fan page? If somebody want to get in touch with Lisa Harris, how can they get a chance? I mean, they can contact Lisa through the Humanity Divine Libertarian Foundation. We have a Facebook page on Facebook, so you can go up. Pretty soon the website will be up, you know, and you can filter in and find out whatever you want to find out about this beautiful foundation. Where can you be located?
Okay, so you can find me actually on Instagram.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Speaking with the Ace Master Drummer, Lawrence Leathers, aka Low, and of course, yoga phenomenal Lisa Harris, of course, coming out with good encouragement for young children or youngsters to know that if you practice yoga, you, by just stretching and breathing, that can take away that killer instinct that any youngsters might have. And of course, listening to my brother Lawrence, just his early childhood of anger management, being aggressive, and he sourced music and used music as the avenue to get him out of the frustration. And of course, has also built a master career for him. It's wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Claude Sinclair. I'm a director with Humanity Divine Libertarian Foundation. And I'm also here to work exclusively with Mr. Leathers over here and Miss Harris to see how much funding we can garnish for this particular foundation, and to help as much youth as we possibly can, not just in Jamaica, but all across the world. So if you want to get in touch with the foundation, it's at Humanity Divine Libertarians at gmail.com. There's a PayPal account that is associated with that. You can send your funding through that. And of course, the website will be up very soon. Our Facebook page again is Humanity Divine Libertarian. We're on Facebook. Send us a picture, send us a message, and we'll get back to you immediately. Of course, we want to big up the president and founder, David Williams, a person who was a troubled kid at times growing up, and also utilizing the foundation in a positive way. Thinking of the foundation in a positive way to uplift as much youth as we possibly can through gangsterism, terrorism, you name it, scattered right across the four corners of the earth. That's where we want to reach out. So thank you very much for watching. And remember, Humanity Divine Libertarian is the way to go. Big up. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Yes, sir.
A pleasure. Peace out.